topic which has been discovered recently and which may not exist at all. I may be talking about something that does not exist. Therefore, I'm free to say everything or nothing. At no time did I have a theoretical or conscious explanation for my preoccupation with these pluriform pseudo-worlds, but now I think I understand. What I was sensing was the manifold of partially actualized realities lying tangent to what evidently is the most actualized one, the one which the majority of us, by consensus gentium, agree on. You are free to believe me or to disbelieve, but please take my word on it that I am not joking. This is very serious, a matter of importance. At that time, I had no idea what I was seeing. It resembled nothing that I had ever heard described. It resembled plasmic energy. It had colors. It moved fast. It collected and then dispersed. But what it was, what he was, I am not sure even now. In other people claim to remember past lives. I claim to remember a different, very different present life. I know of no one who has ever made this claim before, but I rather suspect that my experience is not unique. What perhaps is unique is the fact that I am willing to talk about it. We are living in a computer-programmed reality, and the only clue we have to it is when some variable is changed and some alteration in our reality occurs.
No, I don't think you need a savior. Although I'm curious about it. And I am curious about the Bible and if there actually was such a thing, and if there actually was a Jesus that was a savior. And yeah, and I wonder how much of everyone has a little bit of savior in them, and how much can we access that kind of truth if we try. And yeah, I'm interested in trying to find some sort of inner messiah within myself, perhaps, and to find the truth and be happy. I don't know if being happy is why I want to do it, but I do want to find the truth. So, and I don't know why that's so important to find the truth, but it's just a curiosity that I have, and I think if I were able to, then maybe I could organize my life in a way that is more efficient, perhaps, and is more, I'd be doing the right thing most of the time, and instead of sometimes I feel a lot of doubt, like I'm not doing a good job at things, and yeah. And I really do want to try to find that peace. I guess that kind of inner peace that would come with some sort of spiritual knowledge or salvation or something like that. So I've thought about this a lot. And I think that maybe you do need to suffer in order to be purified. And I think that comes across in a lot of the things that I read. And it's kind of like this idea that, so this is my understanding of it, It might be wrong, but this is my understanding of it at the moment. So it's kind of like this. I think this all stems back from Adam and Eve. So in Adam and Eve, everything was perfect, but then something happened. So like in Adam and Eve, they're offered knowledge or something like that. But I took a Kabbalah class and they said it was different. They said that back then, everything was this light, and that everything was given very freely. But we didn't like that things were given. So we said, hey, actually, I want to be the giver. And that created this split. That kind of created this weird split in the universe, which is this Adam and Eve, or this Big Bang type moment. And ever since, I think that we've been trying, but I don't know if we're trying, but we've been trying to get back to that original nothingness or wholeness or completion. And I think, I read that maybe we're doing that by suffering, and that suffering is our lessons, and that by suffering you can kind of get, I don't know, maybe by suffering you can get to that wholeness. I don't know. And I did acid, and it was really bad. And I was in my bed, and I was all by myself, and it was just uncontrollable. Just how to face it. And for some reason, I'm thinking about Jesus a lot, which is kind of weird because I'm not super Catholic, but I'm thinking about Jesus a lot and how much he's suffering. I think probably because that image was instilled in me when I was really young, because it's so scary, I think. But anyways, I'm thinking about Jesus on the cross, and he's unable to leave, right? And I think if you're unable, that's interesting. Like, I kind of thought, like, what is suffering if you're unable to leave? And because what is suffering if you're unable to escape? Like, all my life I'm trying to escape. I'm trying to escape the suffering by either running or by drinking coffee or by doing drugs that I used to do that I don't do anymore, like marijuana, and other people do it by drinking, overworking, and everyone, people are trying to escape. They're trying to escape the suffering, but Jesus couldn't escape because he was on the cross, with the palms, with the nails inside. And I think that's interesting, because like if you can't escape, then maybe suffering just becomes like different colors or something. And I think that's what we're trying to learn, is that if you can accept that suffering is this endless thing, that you can't escape it, you can't run from it, can't fix it, then maybe that brings you closer to that early, before Adam and Eve period, where everything was just yeah, I think that everyone is lying to me a little bit, because I feel like everyone is pretending that everything is that they know everything that's happening. And so I think that people like lie a little bit of a self-conscious not self-conscious self-assurance of what's happening. And I think that fear kind of causes another fear, like this fear that I think that people put too much faith in science, which is kind of a controversial thing to say, and I'm not trying to say that global warming isn't real or anything like that, but I don't think that science covers most of it. So yeah. So I think that people walk around saying that they got it figured out, and I think we're lying to ourselves and creating a new world where science is the new messiah, perhaps. So I guess that's how I feel. Yeah, I guess I do feel like a lot of people are lying to me, like pretending to be good people, and having all of these moralities that are fake, and persuading me to behave in a certain way, to censor myself in a certain way. And I don't even believe in good and bad so much, although I say that I don't, but I'm constantly like, oh, that art is good, that art is bad, and but I think that was a lie that was told to me, and there isn't that as much. I think I could go on. Who else is lying to me? I think that maybe like liberal people a little bit. I think that they're simplifying things too much, again with the morality. I think that it goes with that, and I don't know. I think that maybe I'm lying to myself about my own importance, but I am and I'm not. Like, I also have to simplify things to get through. I think that we all have to. But there's a part of me that I can talk to. Thank God that I can be complex with. So I'm not. So I don't lie to myself all the time. If I'm lucky enough, and if I'm diligent or whatever, I can access more complexity within myself. But I don't know how to bring that forth yet in my conversations with others. And it's possible that every person is hiding a lot of complexity within themselves, and we all have that truth, but we lie the moment that we talk. Something that I gave up that I can't get back. Ooh. I don't have an answer prepared, so that's good. Something that I gave up. I think that I'm having to give up on this idea of ever being famous, which is kind of a painful one because ever since I was young, I always thought that I was gonna be, but now that I'm 30, I'm more realistic about the possibilities of things. I don't think that's gonna happen, and I think that's kind of similar to giving up on youth. Although you see people and they're in their 40s and they have this amazing body and they say, I'm gonna go for it. And I think that they do. I think they do. They go for it and they get things. And maybe someday I'll be really positive. And then what else? Something else that I gave up on is, I think when I was young and I was in school and I was bullied a lot, I had to give up on this idea. Well, I had to give up a part of myself that was more genuine, perhaps, to become more overprotective, more critical of myself. And even now that I'm safe, well, I think I'm safe, I can't seem to take that part away from it. So I still have a critical voice that suppresses maybe a more genuine person, and I can't seem to take that away. And those are the two things for now. Yeah. I am really afraid of how you view me. I have been for a long time since I went to school. Because the vision of me by other people was very distorted in an unpleasant don't even like to talk about it. Just a bullied kid kind of situation. I'm not proud of that, but it's so hard because I never know for sure how they view me, and there's still a part of me that I can't really control, because there's stuff I wanna do with my life that I just have to risk people thinking that I'm stupid or something. But I try, and to some degree I can, just through my actions of filtering out what I put out there. Yeah, what I put out there. Yeah. Okay, so that's another big one. Yeah, I hope. I very much hope. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if I understand the question. Yeah, survive it. Am I in it to survive it? I mean, I guess to survive it implies I'm in charge, right? Or to change it. To change it. To change it. Oh yeah, to change it, like I'm a human rights person. No, no, I don't think I need to change it. I mean, I see change going on, but it's never what I'm interested in. I just think, like, not gonna do that. I'm not interested in that. I know that maybe I'm supposed to, and then to survive it. Uh, Yeah, no. My hope is that I don't have to survive it. I feel like I hope that there's just something watching over me enough that I can just flow, and that's gonna be what's necessary. Um, but I don't like the idea of me having to exert effort. Yeah, I don't like that. And I don't like the idea of me having to figure it out, which is very contrary to everything that everyone's been telling me since I was young. But I don't like that, and I just kind of want a world where I can just walk in and things just kind of go from there, and you flow, and it's a cool little dance, and so I don't like the idea of me having to survive, but I don't know, maybe that's what's necessary. Survival makes me think a lot about choices and about the brain and about having to and everything's like a puzzle, and I don't like puzzles, so I don't want to think like that. Okay, so you could look at this in two ways. You could look at this question two ways. So you can destroy yourself by letting go. I think by kind of letting go into the fear of the inner psyche, and then perhaps okay, so let's say like you have a lot of fear, you have a lot of pain, and you could kind of let go of yourself, and you could kind of you could let go of yourself, you could give up on yourself, and you could do destructive things to yourself, and that maybe you shouldn't be doing, but you do them because I don't know, because no, I have this. I have this a lot. So I have acid reflux, and I'm not supposed to drink coffee, but and I know that I'm not supposed to, but and I don't even know if I like it, because I actually stopped drinking for like a month, and I felt a lot better. Not from the reflux. The reflux didn't get better, but I just felt better in every other way, like my emotional state. I felt more clear. I felt more peaceful. I felt more awake. I felt more calm. But still, yeah, something happened. Something happened in there. Yeah, there was too much of me trying to control it, that I kind of ended up falling back into it. And now I'm having like my second big coffee thing of the day, and I know that I'm definitely not supposed to have two. So yeah, I don't know what happened there, but I kind of let go of myself, and I fell back into the vice, and I don't think that's doing me good health-wise. So I do think it's possible to destroy yourself that way. You could also look at it in terms of letting go into a higher power. I like that. I like that idea. It's kind of similar to what I was saying before about going with the flow of the situation. And I like to think that that's possible. And you wouldn't destroy yourself that way. Actually, you would be your best self. But it's super difficult. And it's kind of annoying, because I try for that sometimes, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to wake up early, and I'm going to write in the morning, and it's like then I'm controlling myself too much, that I end up falling back into it, and it's hard. It's hard to balance. It's hard to balance, because I'm not perfect. Okay, so do you think you need a savior to find... If like the symbolism of it
is true in some way. Like, there's this guy, last name Berg, he was saying that, like, he was, like, explaining Adam and Eve, and that guy said something so interesting, too. Like, he talked about God, and he was talking about, like, okay, so, like, in the Bible, someone hears the voice of God, but, like, does he hear it from outside or from inside?
So I don't know. I don't know if that's even a thing. So I think that, all right, so perhaps everything's whole, and we just don't realize it, but our perception isn't whole. Yeah, okay, so, like, in some of the books, they argue, okay, I already am, but I just think that I'm not, but, okay, so how do you get yourself to wake up and realize that you're whole? And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's ever going to be possible. I do wonder what happens after you die. Yeah. No, that's a weird question. Of course. But I don't know what happens there. So maybe you get whole after that. That's easy. That's too easy. I don't know. Yeah, no, I really do want to know, but I don't know if the universe ever goes back to being whole. Okay. So I would argue, okay, that's it. It already is whole. But if you were to look all the way back, you would see, oh, never mind. It's whole. But my perception, I don't know. Okay, so maybe if you were to look all the way back, you would see that it's whole. Okay, as well, and so I think that if you go all the way back into the psyche, you kind of reach that higher fabric. That's as far as I've gone, but I don't know if there's ever gonna be a time where wholeness is it. And okay, so maybe it's like a choice that we're gonna have to make at some point, and if we want to keep staying in this consciousness, or if we want to move on to that big light type of thing. But I don't know how to get to a point where I can make that decision.
Counterfeit worlds, semi-real worlds.
Here we go.
Private worlds, inhabited often by just one person.
3, 2.
Later that day, back home again, the total body of memories, intact and entire, began to return.
He was in the back of our car. Oh my God.
In other words, it's a common theme in a dark-haired girl shows up at the door that his world is delusional, that there's something false about it.
It had nothing and inwardly directed, and
Alaskan day creeps into the darkness.
Deja vu.
Activity.
An alternative world branched off.
So, like, I like that if all of this is caused by some sort of big separation, like, my room and the flowers and the garden and the clothes and the cup of coffee and the candles and the synths and I mean, that's all really, really cool. You know, that it created for us like a lot of fun in terms of splendor, and it's like these divisions that the world of separation have, it's amazing. You can make music out of it because of all the notes, and you have like theater, art, language. It's like magical, and you have all the animals, and it's like a total wonderland, you know. So I think that's awesome, actually. But there is a lot of pain, and I think that's what I'm getting to, is that if you look at pain and the cycles of pain, you know, I mean, like, honestly, maybe that's all okay. I don't know if we need to fix that. Yeah, so if the universe is nothing or everything, then there's no pain, and yeah, that's positive. That's the positive, and there's also nothing to strive for, and that's positive too. I mean, I'm tired. I'm tired of striving. So that's the positive of that. I don't know. So like, if I had to choose right now, I think I would choose. I want everything to stay separate. But I do long for a time where I can figure all of this out, and then kind of just go into the whole. I do. I want that to happen. I'm excited for if that ever happens. And then I feel like I know now. I know everything. And then I kind of just go back into nothing.
I think that would be a cool journey, but I don't know.
I'll turn it off.
I could wear that in my ears if you want. You think we can keep it?
Yeah, because it's a as long as we get it close to it.
Okay. Oh, my tears fall from your springs, exiled forever. Let me mourn where night's blackbird her sad infamy sings. There let me live forlorn. Flow, my tears fall from your springs, exiled forever. Let me mourn where night's blackbird her sad infamy sings. There let me live forlorn. Hark, you shadows that in darkness dwell, learn to contemn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Happy, happy they that in hell feel not the world's despite.